I feel like our goal today was really just to start the conversation. This is the first meeting. This is the first talking about in our community about opioid misuse and abuse in an open fashion. I really want to be able to now talk a little bit about the project and what we are doing in our community. Because I think at this point in time we can't deny that this exists in Bryan County and pretty much exists in every community within the United States. It just won't go away. So at the same time, we can't expect, as many people on the panel said, just one of us to make this change and be different. We can't expect, the schools are not the sole responsibility for making the changes in our community. Our police departments and law enforcement are not the sole people. We really, as a community, each one of us has to take action to make things different for the people and our neighbors. So let me talk a little bit about the project. The project started, as I said before, August of 2017, and it is funding that's coming down from the federal government. And we are specifically working and partnering with the community, whether that's law enforcement, the fire department, prescribers, pharmacists, the schools, and different people in our community to really identify different ways that we can make a difference, that we can prevent opioid misuse and abuse in our community. What the project is currently focusing is on 3 different things. One thing is really getting awareness out about the dangers of opioids and prescription drugs. We have a website, so if you look in your folder, there's a sticker that has the website. We are also on Facebook and on Twitter. And the website provides a huge amount of information about the dangers of opioids and also connects to resources for people in the community. There are sections of that website that are specific to parents, specific to youth, prescribers, coaches, all kinds of different community demographics, and it provides that specific information. The other great thing that has happened here in Georgia is the Georgia's Attorney General's office has created a dose of reality site for Georgia. So our website automatically links to the Georgia Dose of Reality website, which is a website that does kind of the same thing as our own website does, but it really talks on a more statewide level about the dangers and what's happening on a statewide level. And hopefully we can get that information out in many other communities, but Bryan County will be the very first community that will have a media and awareness campaign related to Dose of Reality. So you should be seeing some billboards and ads and different things going out in the next couple of months to really get people to start looking at that website and also really getting to know what the dangers of opioids and other prescription drugs are. We wanted to start with the leaders of our community, the people we felt who could really champion and really make a difference here. The other thing that we are focusing on is promoting proper drug disposal. We do actually have a number of drop boxes that exist in our county, which is a wonderful thing. The Richmond Hill Police Department has a drop box. The Sheriff's Office in Pembroke also has a drop box. Walgreens Pharmacy here in Richmond Hill just opened their drop box, and we should soon have one in the medical home. So that provides a huge amount of opportunity for people to be able to get rid of the prescriptions that we have within our community that are not being used appropriately. I need to give a big shout out to the Richmond Hill Police Department who helped do our DEA Drug Take Back Day on Saturday. And we collected here on the south end of the county 46.4 pounds of prescription drugs from our community members, which was wonderful to be able to get that out. And I couldn't do that without the Richmond Hill Police Department and Captain Frost, so thank you so much for that. But we will be continuing just to get that word out, to everybody in our community so they know where the daily locations are to really try and decrease the access for opioids in our community. And the final thing that we're working on is really focusing on youth and parent education. So I have been trained to do, it's not about drugs, youth session, and have done some in the middle school on the north end of our county, and I'm working with different community organizations to continue to get that out to youth 6th to 12th grades, to really be able to understand. It focuses on the dangers of opioids, what they are, but also then really identifying and talking about what are the different ways that youth can say no, what are the other things that might help them stay away from using prescription drugs. So, and we also have a program that I can do for parents that focuses on that same exact information, but then also how do you talk to your youth about prescription drugs and how to be safe. So we have a number of different education things that are happening in our community. So those are just some of the things that the project is currently working on. We are going to continue to work at least through April 2019 of next year and hope to continue on after that. There is a letter from our state, from the Department of Behavioral Health and Developmental Disabilities, that identifies and talks a little bit about why Bryan County was selected as one of 4 counties to receive the prevention dollars related to opioid misuse. I do want to point out the infographic that identifies some Bryan County statistics and also some national statistics. Some of the 2 important ones that I see that are on there is really, if you look at our prescribing rate for Bryan County, it is higher than any other surrounding county around us. And the biggest concern with that means what? Is that we have a lot of access in our community. So we have a lot of prescriptions there. And having a lot of prescriptions in our community creates the opportunity for potential misuse and abuse. And so it really tells us why we need to do our drug take-back days and make sure people know how to be able to get rid of those prescription drugs that are unwanted and unused. Because also, as you'll see, 70% of the people who misuse them also get them from family and friends. So they're not necessarily going out into and buying them on the streets, but they're actually finding them within their homes. The statistic from our student health survey, it is showing that our Bryan County youth are using at a higher rate than the Georgia average. And at this point in time, you know, whether that's a completely honest, because it is self-report from our students or not, but I figure that it has to be on some level accurate enough that our Bryan County youth are not the only ones lying about their use. It does say something about where our youth are at in our community, and those 2 statistics are enough that have really made the project really look at the activities that we are looking at, which is youth and parent education, and also targeting parent and youth through our awareness campaigns also. Did we know that we are definitely losing people here in Bryan County to opioid overdoses, and unfortunately it's very hard to get a good handle on what that actual number is. We've lost 4 people here on the south end of the county involving opioids. So if you think about that, that is literally 1 a month, because we just hit May today. So, you know, I live here in Bryan County, and I know Bryan County consists of communities of action, and we stand up for what is right, and we support our fellow neighbors, and we work towards keeping our communities safe and healthy. Everybody who attended, to really start looking at what can each one of us do to make a difference. One of us can do the basics, which is obviously monitoring and locking up our medications at home, making sure you're disposing of medications that are unwanted or unused, making sure that you are not sharing your medications with other people, and it goes into a couple other different things that you can do. Then it goes into different roles that you might, and you may have more than one role in these, And it identifies in each one of our roles, what are some of those things that we can each do to make an impact and help prevent the misuse or abuse of opioids in our community. I just want you to think about it and see what are the things that I can really do to make a difference, because as the panel members say, we really are going to need to do this as a community. Also realize we have a work group. The project has a work group that meets every single month. The date is always on our website. You can always contact me if you want to get put on the list to get information about the regular work group meetings. And our work group basically just makes sure that we are on track in doing what we need to do in our community to address the opioid issue.